Hello and a warm welcome from our Loxone base camp. Welcome to the thousands of partners, Loxone fans and everyone joining us today for the biggest product reveal in our successful 11-year history. Over the last 11 years, we've realized over 140,000 automation projects in more than 100 countries with over 13,000 partners. Together with our partners, we've shaped the world of building automation, especially in terms of smart homes, where we've revolutionized the market like no other company. Buildings are at the very core of our lives, both for working and living. That's why, from the beginning, with the help of our intelligent automation solution, we've strived to make living in buildings safer, more comfortable, and more energy efficient. We are constantly working on providing our partners with the best possible solutions in terms of ease of use and configuration, reliability, flexibility, and future-proofing. At Loxone, reliable products consist of high-end hardware paired with intelligent software that's updated regularly to keep up with the ever-changing world of automation. In our teaser, we've announced the biggest product revolution since the Loxone Miniserver. And when we talk about a product revolution, it means that we're setting new standards. New standards in regards to size, weight, performance, flexibility, efficiency, and price-to-performance ratio. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Thomas Moser, who has already cemented his legacy as the mastermind behind the Miniserver, will now introduce the latest Loxone product. So, Thomas, over to you to kick off the next revolution since the Miniserver. A very warm welcome to our online product event from my side as well. Loxone has always been known for seamless integration of products, quick installation, ease of use, and most of all, automation. All these topics have accompanied us ever since the story of Loxone began. Especially the ease and seamless integration of our products. That's something we pride ourselves on. For this reason, I'm incredibly excited to present to you a true product revolution today. Let's take a look together. Everything's new. We've developed the software and hardware from the ground up. The audio server is built for perfectly flexible integration into any building done by professionals. Every building has a different layout and structure, and that's where our new audio server can truly shine and live up to the expectations of a professional audio system for any application. Audio, sound, music, and quality. These were the topics on the forefront of our development efforts of the audio server. No matter if you use Loxone speakers, like our wall speakers or ceiling-mounted speakers, or if you opt for high-end speakers from a number of manufacturers from around the world, our audio server will get the most out of any speaker connected to it. Crystal clear sound at low volumes for a relaxing evening in your living room, to full bass and high volumes for parties. Those are some of the most important factors we considered. Now, let's take a look at the connectors on the audio server in more detail. We've got 4 amplifier outputs for connecting speakers either in stereo or mono mode. We have an SPDIF output for digital audio signal transmission to receivers, for example in your living room. We've got a line out for analog signal transmission without an amplifier, and a line in for connecting microphones or other similar devices. Also, the audio server has an exchangeable SD card on board for its firmware, as well as for storing music locally. The USB port also allows for connecting external storage devices to the audio system. And last but not least, the audio server has an Ethernet port for connecting to the local network in your building. Of course, we support the most important services like internet radio stations from around the world for music and news, Spotify for streaming your favorite music and playlists, as well as your local music library. Moreover, we support lossless audio formats such as FLAC for all you audiophiles out there. We've already talked a lot about integration today. The new audio server, as well as audio groups for rooms, are deeply integrated into the Loxone app and our whole system. We've completely overhauled our music app interface, both in the front and back end. We're now offering practically latency-free music streaming on top of many other functions like equalizer settings, playlist editing, announcements, and more. All of this is paired with the completely new and improved performance of our music app interface. In addition to the Loxone app, you can now stream your music via Spotify Connect, so you can choose for yourself if you prefer the Loxone app or the Spotify app. The audio server is also Apple AirPlay 2 ready. This function will be enabled with a software update very soon. Of course, the hardware is already on board. Now, let's talk about why the audio server is called the audio server. That's simply the case because it can do so much more. The features include text-to-speech announcements.
Attention, the garage door is still open.
A latency-free doorbell function. Or how about a powerful burglar alarm that will fend off any intruder? Or any other alarm or signal that crosses your mind. And probably the most important new feature is the possibility of making an announcement directly from within the Loxone app. Whether you want to tell your children that dinner's ready or call in your marketing department for a spontaneous meeting, this function puts a quick and easy way of reaching anyone in the building right in the palm of your hand.
Hey team, let's celebrate the audio server. There's free beer downstairs.
Naturally, we've not only focused on the standard integration into Loxone, but also put emphasis on create automation. From our presence sensors to our touch switches and so on. Products that you are already familiar with all play a part in the functionality, from switching room favorites, automatic music playing in the bathroom in the morning, or another example could be automatic music playing in a restaurant, having the right background music to match the theme of the restaurant. Of course, with the ease of changing the music to a party playlist when the occasion calls for it. All of that and more is what Create Automation with the audio server is all about. The audio server was built for professional installations in any building. Maintenance-free operation, 24/7, 365 days a year, without any moving parts, low power consumption, and minimum heat generation. Worry-free and future-proof, just like all other products from Loxone. You can expect that in the audio server too. Another thing we didn't talk about yet is the green and white connectors. Green and white is traditionally associated with Loxone Tree, and in the audio server, it's used for Tree Turbo, a high-performance broadband connection between the audio server and its stereo extensions. Another point to talk about is the required voltage. Just like other products in the Loxone range, the orange-white is for 24 volts power supply. Now, let's talk about the inherent expandability of the system. Naturally, the audio server has an Ethernet connection for communicating with other devices on a network. The amplifier outputs are freely assignable. You could use one output for one room, the second one for another room. Of course, you can combine the two outputs for stereo. With the stereo extensions, you can expand the system, whether you use the two outputs in stereo or downmix them into mono outputs for different rooms. Tree Turbo adds another dimension of scalability, offering an attractive way of expanding the system, so you could wire from the distribution board to a stereo extension installed locally to where a speaker is, all with the added versatility of a free-form wiring topology. You also have an SPDIF output to connect to an external AV receiver. If a project requires an even larger level of scalability, you can add additional audio servers on the same network and use these in combination with even more stereo extensions. And this also applies with installations where you have more than one mini-server too. Therefore, the scalability is limitless. Scalability from a hardware perspective is one point, but what about from a software point of view in a realistic installation? Well, let's take a look at that now. Here we have a floor plan of a family home. Let's see how we could implement audio in this open plan space. 2 speakers in stereo above the kitchen island, 2 speakers in stereo over the bar. Since the dining area is quite spacious, we could have 6 speakers here. In the lounge, we have another 2 speakers in stereo. On the west patio, we've got 2 speakers as well. On the pool patio, we've got another 2 speakers. And lastly, we've also installed 2 speakers directly on the lawn area next to the pool. The unique part about this installation is that all speakers should be able to play the same source. We have an open plan space, so there are no doors separating the rooms, so this is why we would want the speakers to play the same audio. We wouldn't want to mix rock music with classical music because you wouldn't be able to hear either of them very clearly. The end result of this installation would be that, in the Loxone app, the volume of the kitchen speakers, the bar speakers, the dining area speakers, and so on can all be adjusted individually. The same source would be playing in all of those zones, but we want to be able to adjust the volume in each area individually. When there isn't anyone on the west patio, we wouldn't want to play music there unnecessarily, which would annoy the neighbors. That means we should be able to activate or deactivate each zone independently. Another example would be this floor plan of a restaurant. We have 8 speakers in the large dining area. We also have an adjacent room and a bar area. The 8 speakers in the dining area should all play the same source, and the volume should be adjustable. In the bar area, you'd probably want to have the music playing a little louder. In the adjacent room, perhaps you don't want to have anything playing, or you might want a different music source entirely. Perhaps you've got a microphone connected to the line in, and you want that to play over the speakers. Having looked at these floor plan examples, I'd like to say a bit about the related time and effort needed for planning such installations. From the planning stage, we've set a new standard in ensuring a smooth transition through to implementation. The commissioning for partners is intuitive and offers the same ease of install as you've come to expect with Loxone. Coupled with the power of our software, you can complete an installation in record time. In this sense, I'm happy to be able to tell you that we'll be introducing additional features and functionality that will continue to improve the way we live and work in buildings automated with Loxone. Many of these will be enabled with free software updates. And finally, let's go across to another member of the Loxone team to take a look at some of the implementation in Loxone Config. Thank you, Thomas. Here we've got a demo board that we've set up with an audio server and 6 stereo extensions, all wired up using Loxone Tree Turbo in less than 15 minutes. That's the physical setup. Now let's have a look at what to do in Loxone Config. Once the audio server has connected to the network via the LAN port, you can search for the device within Loxone Config. Then enter the name of the device and set the time zone. Once you've added the audio server and saved in, you can now search for the stereo extensions and add these to the project. At this stage, you can also assign the correct rooms to the extensions. In the preferences here, you'll be able to select the suitable properties based on the speakers that you're using. Now you will see that when I drag and drop a stereo output, a new audio player function block will appear on the page. And in this case, I'm dragging 2 onto the page because I've got 4 speakers in the living room. Sometimes it's necessary to group 2 or more audio player function blocks, such as the open plan example from Thomas. So to do this, I simply add the audio player group fixed function block and select the relevant audio players. A stereo extension can be split into 2 downmixed mono outputs. And just like that, the stereo signal will now be downmixed by the software. And last but not least, you can easily identify which speaker is connected to the output by right-clicking and selecting Audible Identification. That was just a quick look at Loxone config. From next week, though, you can look forward to partner webinars that will take an even closer look at the functionality that you can expect. And we're sure it's going to make you just as excited about this audio revolution as we are. For now, though, it's back to Rudiger. Wow. Thank you very much, Thomas, for that impressive introduction. When we at Loxone talk about a product revolution, we truly mean it. With this product revolution, we are setting new standards. New standards in terms of size, reducing it to just 4% of the size of the music server and amp. That way, this great product will fit into even the smallest of buildings. We have reduced the weight to 2%. We have ramped up the performance 20-fold. We've also increased the efficiency by reducing the energy consumption to about 20%. I've talked about another topic before, the price-to-performance ratio. Here, this highly innovative audio server, with its rich and clear sound, with its intuitive and seamless integration into any building, and its 4 amplifier outputs, is available for a highly attractive price. The additional stereo extension, with its 2 amplifier outputs, is priced at just half of that. The audio server, as well as the stereo extension, are developed and manufactured 100% within the Loxone group, designed in Austria and made in Germany. Both products are available starting right now. In light of these facts, no intelligent building should miss out on these amazing features anymore. I encourage all our partners to take up the opportunity that these 2 products present and add to your skill set to take your projects to the next level. Thank you. Thank you to everyone involved from Loxone behind this revolution. And on behalf of the entire Loxone team, I'd like to thank the thousands of you for being a part of this event. As a thank you to you, our partners, you'll find a special one-off discount arriving in your inbox today. We've accomplished a lot together. Together, we've turned the color green into a symbol of modern, intelligent building automation. Now, let's add another color, purple, to the palette of Create Automation. And with that, stay green and complete your projects with purple. I'm looking forward to hearing about all these success stories of impressive installations and mind-blowing acoustic experiences that you all create. Until then, goodbye and thank you for joining us.